Greetings everyone. Today in this video we're going to be discussing the compensation agreement for owner/listing broker to tenants broker. You would use this particular agreement for rentals with all the new changes to the Realtor Association and all their rules. You now need to have compensation agreements in order to state how much commission is due to you. I recommended using these agreements before, but now with the new rules in effect as of 2024, I highly recommend you use the agreements so that you have something in writing authorizing your payment to be made payable to you and your listing broker or the tenant's broker. So before we begin and go through this agreement, our company is Niz Realty Inc. We pay all of our agents 100% of their real estate commission. More information about our company can be found on our website, nizrealty.com, or you can see in the description below this video. If you are coming here for the first time, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, leave a like or comment on our videos. It really helps the YouTube channel and motivates me to create more content, and it doesn't cost you a single penny to subscribe to the channel. With that being said, that's enough of that. Let's get into today's video and fill out this agreement. So again, this is the compensation agreement for if you're representing a tenant and you're going to receive a form of compensation, your money, for representing the tenant, for drafting a lease. In the state of Florida, the lease contracts, you are bound to use the FAR Supreme Court approved leases for single family homes or for units, apartments, condominiums. There's only 2 leases you could use and fill out as a realtor, and they don't really have sections on there to fill out something for your compensation. So I highly recommend that you use this particular agreement in order to have something in writing so that the compensation is due to you for representing the tenant. So you would write here in the beginning, you would list who the compensation agreement is between. Is the owner paying the compensation, the landlord, or is the listing broker going to be paying the compensation? You would choose one or the other. If the landlord's going to be paying the compensation, you'd put the landlord's name here. Let's say today that Billy Bob is the landlord or the owner, and they're going to be paying the compensation. You put their name there. Or if it's a company name, you put the company name there if the property is owned by a company. If the landlord's not paying it and the compensation is coming out of the listing broker, then you put the listing brokerage company name here. So our company is Niz Realty Inc. If we are the listing broker, you don't put the name there unless they're doing business in their name, but more often than not, it's the company name. So you would put the brokerage name there. And let's say down here is the tenant's broker. This would be your company name if you're representing the tenant. So you'd put the company name there. For the purpose of this video, let's say that we have the owner who's going to be paying the compensation. So let's put our placeholder name here. And then the tenant's broker, let's say Niz Realty Inc. is representing the tenant. So we will put Niz Realty Inc. here. And that is your brokerage name if you're representing the tenant. The next part here is you put the property address. Make sure, as I always state in my videos, to put the full property address with the zip, city, and state. So let's use our placeholder. If there's a unit number, make sure you list the unit number. Do not leave any of this information out. I know it sounds silly, but I see it happen all too often where agents do not list the city, they don't list the zip code, they don't list the unit number. It's unacceptable. You need to put the full property address here. If the property is listed by a listing broker, you'd put the listing brokerage name here. If it's not, then you could leave this blank. But let's just leave it blank for right now and say that we're not having the listing broker pay the compensation. You're working with the landlord directly or the owner. But if it is listed by a brokerage, you'd put the company name here. The term of this compensation agreement, you could leave it blank for the default 30 days. As I always explain in my videos, I do not like to leave anything blank, so I like to put something here. I'd recommend putting, really you could put anything there. I usually put 90 days, 180 days as the term. But you could put 30 days, 60 days, 45 days. It's up to you. I'm going to leave it at 90 because that sounds good to me, but that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just my opinion. The compensation for rentals. Here, you would put the amount of compensation you're receiving. It could be a flat fee, which you could put here, could be $1,000, and you would put the flat fee there, or any amount that is being agreed upon. It could be a percentage, so it could be 50% of the first month's rent, or it could be 100% of the first month's rent. You would fill that out here. It could also be 25% of the first month's rent. It really just depends. A lot of times I see with higher end rentals, when you're dealing with rentals that are usually in the 5-figure range, like $10,000 a month or above, or close to it, you'll get a percentage of the gross lease. So you could put here maybe 5% of the gross lease value, whatever the amount is you're charging, 7%, 10% of the gross lease, and you put it there. And if there's anything additional, you could put plus. If there's like an additional fee, a processing fee, you could put it here as well. For the purpose of this video, let's say we're going to be receiving 50% of the first month's rent. So we'll delete this here, and we'll leave this at 50% of the first month's rent. And that's going to be the compensation here. The other terms, you could state some other terms here. I'm not going to really go into this. If you're a member of our brokerage, you could contact us for further information, but I'm going to leave this blank. But if you do need to state the other terms, you could list it here. And then it continues down here that you could state more terms. And that's pretty much it as far as this document is concerned. You would have everyone sign and date. Make sure everyone initials at the bottom of each page, as you can see down here. There's initials required down here and up here. And that's pretty much it as far as the compensation agreement for rentals. That's what this would be used for. If you're representing a tenant and you want something in writing to make sure you receive your compensation. And the landlord can pay it, the owner, or the listing broker can pay it. And you want to put the listing brokerage name, if there is one, in here in this space. So it's a pretty simple agreement. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.